Okay, so recently just one of the best early game rods, the Arctic rod, just got nerfed, and many people have been asking for an updated guide, and I have been cooking up something for you guys. So this is the fastest rod progression guide in Fisch. But before we do that, I want you to know that we are very close to 10,000 subscribers, so please like, share, subscribe, and join my Discord for some giveaways. And let's get on with the video. Like many other new players, you start in Moosewood, except there's nothing to do here other than to fish in Moosewood spawn. This place offers more money than when you would farm on the ramp, but you need to fish here too. You get about 2,000 bucks, and then you can get this rod called the carbon rod. Once you have gotten the carbon rod, you need to make some money to buy some boats, and you don't really need a very good boat because you're not going to be going that far away, so a rowboat will do. You need to get to a place called Roslyn Bay, and you're not really here for the steady rod. You're actually here for the submarine, which is a free boat, and it's actually one of the fastest boats in the game. All you have to do is talk to Dr. Glimmerfin over here. He's gonna hand you a drill, and you need to mine these rocks in order to get the submarine parts, and you'll get a free submarine boat. From here on out, your next destination is underwater. You're gonna have to complete the longest journey of your life and go under the Marianas Veil. Once you have reached the volcanic vents, you need to set your spawn point over here because you're gonna be coming back to this place again. Technically, you can't catch the legendary, mythical, and the secret fishes with the carbon rod, but the rest of the fishes in this bestiary are also pretty valuable. But I did spend 5 minutes in the volcanic vents to see how much I earned, and I made about 4,600 bucks in 5 minutes, which is not that bad considering this rod is so slow. I also tested steady rod, which is a pretty decent early game rod, and the results were not so different. I made $6,153 compared to $4,618. This is how long it takes to shake these two rods, and it is much easier to shake with the steady rod, but it is slower by 2 seconds. But it doesn't really matter because steady rod makes more money than the carbon rod, and after you make about 40,000 bucks, you need to go to your next destination. So hop on your submarine or whatever you have and head over to Atlantis. In Atlantis, you'll find one of the best mid-game rods in the game, the Champion's Rod. However, you're not actually here for this rod. We're actually here for the Depth Seeker rod. This rod actually has more lure speed and luck than the Champion's Rod, but it has lesser control and lesser resilience. But resilience and control are high enough that it doesn't really matter. So please don't forget that this rod exists because it's a much better version of Arctic rod. Now personally, I wouldn't spend my money on buying the Champion's Rod after I buy the Abyssal Spectre rod because it is as powerful as Champion's Rod and it is cheaper. After that, you're gonna have to take your submarine and go to the volcanic vents again because it is a very good place to grind for money. Also, I completely forgot, but if you have set your spawn point in the volcanic vents, just use your conception conch, which teleports you to the previous spawn point. Once you're in volcanic vents, your next target is the volcanic rod over here. The rod costs 300,000 bucks, and in order to farm this money, you need to farm in this lava over here. Although this rod has some pretty bad stats, it has a mutation that makes it a pretty decent money making rod. And for those people wondering if this rod's passive has been fixed, it has been fixed. And for those wondering how much money this makes compared to other rods, it's better than the Heaven's rod. Now after you get the volcanic rod, you really shouldn't be spending your money on any other rods like the Heaven's rod or even the Rod of the Depths unless you like having this guy following you around. So you should be farming in the volcanic vents till you have enough money to buy either Poseidon rod, Zeus rod, or Tempest rod. You can find all three of these rods in Atlantis. For the Tempest rod, you need to go past the merchant and make sure to equip your diving gear and your super flippers. Once you reach here, you will see a pedestal with some weird symbols. You need to memorize them from left to right. And then you need to go down this pool over here and you need to swim straight ahead. And then you need to take a right from here. You need to follow this path straight ahead. And then on the left side is where you need to put the symbols from left to right in the order that you saw in the pedestal. Once that is done, swim back to the pedestal and you need to activate the symbols from left to right. And then the door for the Tempest Rod will open, and Tempest Rod will be located on the left side for $1.8 million. However, personally, I would go for the Zeus rod because it is a much better rod than the Tempest rod. So in order to get the Zeus rod, you need to do the Zeus trials, and it is right behind this big statue over here. You need to do some Squid Game mini games, and personally, I would do the right side first and then go for the left side. Once you get the password, you need to put them in this keypad, and then Zeus rod will be right on the left side. And with this, you have a rod that can make you pretty much 1 million or 2 million an hour depending on where you farm and what enchantment you have on this rod. For the Zeus rod, make sure to get the steady enchant or the blessed song enchant. Now the Zeus rod that you just got is gonna be your money rod, and the next rod you're gonna get is gonna be your XP farming rod. Now straight ahead is the volcanic vent, but if you go even deeper, you get to the place called the Challenger's Deep. This place contains one of the fastest rods in the game without any enchant, and it is the Challenger's rod over here. Decent lure speed, decent luck, decent control, and decent resilience makes this one of the fastest rod in the game for XP farming. Now that you have this rod, you need to enchant it with the Clever Enchant. A quick side note, if you head over to Terrapin Island, you can buy buy the quality bait crates and you can get one of the new baits called the instant catcher. You can now use this bait to earn a lot of money with rods that have high control and high resilience but low lure speed. Rods like the brick rod, heaven's rod with lure speed 30 and 30% resilience, champion's rod with 30% resilience but no lure speed, doesn't need to be enchanted with hasty anymore. With this new bait, hasty is pretty much useless now. So instead of hasty champion's rod, you could use the instant catcher and enchant your champion's rod with something like steady or abyssal in order to earn more money. Now with that being said, there's actually not much to do after you get the Zeus rod and the challenger's rod. Ethereal prism rod is slightly better but you won't even feel the difference, while the seraphic rod is the most useless level 1000 rod. It loses to challenger's rod when catching a normal fish by a few milliseconds. However, when catching higher rarity fish, Challenger Rod beats Seraphic Rod by a few seconds. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what enchantment to put on your rod. Rods with high control and high resilience, but have very low lure speed, should use instant catcher bait, and should use enchants like Anomalous, Abyssal, or Quantum, and steady if you have a rod that already has a mutation passive like the Heaven's Rod. And rods that have the progression speed passive should always use the Clever enchant. These rods are made for XP farming, so you should use baits like Seaweed and Coral. Now for the best money-making rods in the game like the Ethereal Prism Rod, Zeus Rod, and the Heaven's Rod. Yes, I'm putting Heaven's Rod because this new meta might put Heaven's Rod in the top 5 best money-making rod in the game. Now for Heaven's Rod, you need to use Instant Catcher, but Zeus and Ethereal needs to use Seaweed or Coral. But for the enchant, it's actually gonna be the best enchant in the game, and it's also the newest enchant, and it is the Blessed Song enchant. Now just to have a chance at getting this enchant, you need to go and hand over every Moby that you caught to Captain Ahab over here. Now I'm not gonna go ahead and tell you how to catch Mobies. There's many other people who have done those videos, so you can go check them out. On second thought, while I was making this video, they just nerfed Steady and Blessed Song enchant, and now Steady only decreases the progress speed by 15% and Blessed Song only decreases by 30%. So now unless they update the game and buff the Blessed Song enchant, you shouldn't really waste your time trying to get it because it is very hard to get it. On top of that, there's only a 5% chance to spawn Moby, so it is entirely up to you if you want to spend a lot of time trying to get the Blessed Song enchant. So now unless they update the game and then they nerf some stuff like they usually do, or they buff some stuff like they always do, then this guide is gonna stay the same. And also, don't get me wrong, Steady is still a very good enchant, so make sure you use the Steady enchant. So if you have reached this far, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and join my Discord for some giveaways. We're close to 10,000 subscribers, and once we hit that, I'm gonna do a big giveaway for you all, so make sure to join that. Also, comment down below what you think about this new nerf and the new update, and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, because personally for me, this nerf is a 1. Hope the devs realize this is not a smart move and buff the Blessed Song enchant. Otherwise, people are just gonna keep on complaining on their Fish Discord. So now I'll be seeing you in the next video.